Everyone is talking about Iran, talking about Khamenei, talking about Israel. Do you see something else behind the curtain? The real war is elsewhere. Pay attention to two events. They seem to have no connection. But there is a connection. Let's try to understand it. First event. The US carried out an operation in Venezuela. Maduro was neutralized. World headlines. Dictator overthrown. Applause. Condemnations. No one asked. Who was Venezuela's biggest oil customer? You know this. Of course, China. Venezuela was sending 800,000 barrels of oil per day to Beijing. This line was cut by the US. Second event. The US and Israel struck Iran. Iran's leadership was targeted. Headlines. Nuclear threat ended. Applause. Condemnations. No one asked. Who was Iran's biggest oil customer? Of course, as you guessed. China. Iran was selling 1.5 million barrels of oil per day directly to China. With the war, that line was also cut. Two different countries, two different continents, two different pretexts, but the same common denominator, China. Can you call this a coincidence? No. Let's continue. Ray Dalio's thesis is clear. When a rising power challenges the existing one, conflict is inevitable. This movie has been filmed before. Let's leave the trailers and watch the main feature. As Germany rose, it was overtaking England. Result. World War I. As Japan rose, it was challenging the US in the Pacific. Result. World War II. As the Soviets rose, polarization grew. Result. The Cold War. Now let's look at China's situation. China alone produces 28% of the world's manufacturing. It gets a little closer to America every year. Projections are clear. By 2030, China will become the world's largest economy. This is an existential crisis for America. Will America allow this? Of course not. The most dangerous moment for a superpower is when its rival is about to overtake it. You either stop them then, or you fall behind forever. What is happening now is part of this stopping move. So how do you stop it? China imports 73% of the oil it needs. Its own production is insufficient. It has to buy from abroad. To explain with an analogy, you have the world's largest engine. It seems massive, powerful, unstoppable. But it has one weakness. It cannot produce its own fuel. That engine has four main fuel hoses. Venezuela, Iran, Russia, Saudi Arabia. What is America doing? It is cutting the hoses one by one. Children are playing ball in the yard and break the neighbor's window. The homeowner gets angry and cuts the ball. They can't play anymore. The ball is cut. Game over. The Venezuela hose was cut. Maduro was targeted. The Iran hose was cut. War broke out. The Russia hose was restricted with sanctions. Ukraine war. The Saudi Arabia hose was narrowed by regional instability. What do you do to stop an engine? You cut its fuel. The engine stops on its own. The numbers show us the harsh reality. Cut from Venezuela, 800,000 barrels per day. Cut from Iran, 1,500,000 barrels per day. Total loss, 2,300,000 barrels per day, 20% of China's total imports. Maybe you didn't notice. Because with the manufactured perception, everyone was focused directly on Iran in the headlines. Could it have escaped your notice? What's being discussed here is energy. But that's only one side of the front. On the other side, China was building something else. The modern Silk Road project, which you all know about, but perhaps haven't paid much attention to. A vast trade network stretching from Beijing to the heart of Europe. Railways, ports, pipelines. An investment daring to spend trillions of dollars. Why? Because trade with Europe shapes the world economy. The heart beats faster here. And Europe was shifting towards China. China became Germany's largest trading partner. France signed new agreements. Italy officially joined the Silk Road. Europe was slowly leaving the US sphere of influence and entering China's ecosystem. This meant a second existential crisis for America. The first was China economically overtaking the US. The second was the US losing Europe. If Europe goes, what remains in the US's hands? Its weapons and the dollar. Are either enough alone? No. At that very moment, as Europe was shifting towards China, the US struck Iran. Iran was the critical junction of the modern Silk Road in the Middle East. For China to reach Europe by land, the Iranian route needed to be secure. That security was bombed. In one move, America did two things. It cut China's fuel. It destabilized China's trade route to Europe. The engine ran out of fuel. The road was closed too. So what's next? There is only one inevitable point left. Taiwan, TSMC, chip manufacturer. For example, the US-based technology company NVIDIA does not manufacture, it only designs. The production is done by Taiwan. Intel does not yet produce the chips that TSMC manufactures. So, at this point, the US is dependent on Taiwan. China is also dependent on Taiwan. Taiwan is a new flashpoint for both poles. In fact, the US has blocked the sale to China of the lithography machines, necessary for chip production, produced by the Netherlands, the world's sole manufacturer of these machines. On the other hand, Germany is the only country capable of serially producing the extremely critical EUV mirrors inside lithography machines with nanometer-level perfection. Why Taiwan? Because 90% of the world's most advanced chips are produced there. The chip in your phone, in your car, in missiles. They all come from there. Whoever controls Taiwan controls the technology of the 21st century. The US says, we will support Taiwan. China says, Taiwan is ours. We will use force if necessary. There is no room for compromise. Neither side can back down. This is where the fracture between the two poles will begin. This is exactly what Dalio says. When two powers approach each other and have irreconcilable differences, war becomes inevitable. Like two identical poles of a magnet, they repel each other. All these moves, Venezuela, Iran, Russia, are preparation for that inevitable moment. Think of it this way. There's a boxing match in the ring. One boxer is cutting off all of his opponent's resources to sabotage him. Just so his opponent enters the ring exhausted. Venezuela was cut, Iran was cut, Russia was restricted, the European route was disrupted. The ring, Taiwan, and stepping into that ring gets closer every day. There's another side to the coin, profit. While weakening China, America is also making money. This is what you call killing two birds with one stone. Every conflict environment means new arms deals. What do Gulf countries do when a bomb explodes in the Middle East? They buy weapons. From whom? From the USA. Iran was struck. Gulf countries felt threatened. Their defense budgets skyrocketed. Orders go to the USA. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. They are all increasing their spending. Every explosion means a new contract. Every crisis means a new $1 billion. America fills its own coffers while cutting off China's fuel. History repeats itself. One strategy, 5 gains. Cut China's energy lines. Disrupt China's European trade route. Control the region. Fill the coffers by selling weapons. Make China enter a Taiwan war weak and unprepared. Do not see separate wars here. There is only one war. The strategy is one. Venezuela is one front. Iran is one front. Russia is one front. Europe is one front. But it's a single war. And behind the curtain, there is a single target, China.